All right. Come on over here. Welcome to today's Art Life Live. So we're going to start with this image. I just have one painting for you today. Again, time to listen. I'm going to speak through my art, but if you have something to say or you want to share in the comments, this is our free zone. This is a safe space, and I welcome you to leave a comment below as this comes to life. As always, if you can hear me, I will always share about my process, what I'm doing at the time. The image will speak for itself when it's all done, but let's paint. You know, in most times in my life, I've always been able to turn to art. And I hope that each of you have some sort of outlet. If maybe some of you found it during quarantine, something that you turn to or you realize that you turn to. I know mine's either art or food, so you're not alone if it's food. So what I'm doing right now is I'm gonna start in the background and work my way forward. This image will be self-explanatory when it's done, but I'm just gonna start in the background and work my way forward. And again, I want to thank you all for joining today. I hope you are safe. If you're at home, if you're at work, wherever that is in the world. I feel like this should be part 1 of 3 because there's more to this story. And I want you to keep that in mind. Maybe you're tuning in later. Maybe you're just tuning in now, but today's theme, time to listen, inspired by what I feel like, again, should be just 3 parts to this. There's so many sides, so many stories. Let's listen. That's the inspiration today. I'm the art therapist. You know, thank you for sharing that. Someone said I'm the art therapist. I was on this virtual arts panel recently, and this woman, I forgot her name, but she is basically advocating for the arts on the state level of California. And she said this line that like really resonated with me and said that artists are second responders. So we all know and love our first responders, medical workers, but during, at least COVID, art has become a therapy for a lot of people. And I really truly hope that this is a positive time for you. We try to touch on current events, which this one is inspired by current events, but, okay, it's all right. Yeah, the mic was cut out. By the way, if you're watching this on Instagram or TikTok, you can always go to the link in my bio. It says live stream. You'll never have any audio or visual problems. You can see it much more clear on those other platforms. All right, let's get started. As if we didn't already start. Here we go. So this image is much more detailed than what I normally do, so I may take my time a little bit. I know every time I say that, it still feels quick, but every painting requires different attention. Sometimes a painting needs to be done in minutes. This one, who knows how long it'll take. So even if you have to go away for whatever reason, come back. These are all posted on my Facebook and YouTube. Sometimes on my Instagram, just look for Garibaldi Arts on all platforms. Also, don't be afraid to leave a comment below. One thing I would love to know is if you're new here, if this is your first time watching a live, just comment new below so we can welcome you. I would love to welcome you later on. I read these comments. Feel free to leave a guess below. What's that? I hear giggles. I always hear giggles. When you guys are watching, I hear. Oh, what are some of the comments? Yeah, well.
And then someone said you're hot because of your jacket.
Yeah, of course. I love wearing my jackets, so I'm not gonna wear basketball shorts and a t-shirt while I paint. Interesting. I feel like, someone asked, is it a stormtrooper? I feel like it is, but maybe not what you would expect. More to be revealed as this comes to life. I have learned to just enjoy this process. Again, not rushing it. I know people tune in, tune out. These are all posted live later on. Actually, they're not posted live. They're posted after it's live.
Someone said, is that an astronaut?
Interesting. Someone said, is that an astronaut? I feel like there's some key things that will reveal what it is. I think we can all agree it's definitely a uniform. And I'm just taking my time right now, bringing this to life. If you need to go away and come back, you can join us. But again, as much as this may be therapy for you to watch, I hope it is, this is definitely therapy for me to paint. Personally, it has been already a stressful last few months, and in the last week or so is, I think been trying on all of our emotions. If you would agree, let me know below in the comments. So someone asked, do I sell paintings? Yes, we do. If you actually visit garibaldiarts.com/gallery, you will see a collection of different painting sizes and prices.
Someone said, I want to see how your mind works from the inside, like matrix style. Your method is fascinating.
So someone said they want to see how my brain works. I would love to know too. So if you, yeah, my girlfriend would love to know how my brain works. Like, why does he say those things to me? Why does he think that? So real quick, what I'm doing right now is I'm just establishing the undertones of this image. This is like sketching on canvas. This is it's never just like the final image. This is a sketch to establish the image. This helps me later on as I add details. By the way, my kids are in the other room. I was like, hey guys, daddy's about to go live, I'm about to paint. You wanna come watch? And they're just like, no response, like into their iPads. It's all good.
Someone said, I think an email when I saw the painting was 6, and I'd love to know if it's using.
Yeah, so someone sent an email about a painting. They want to know, so you can always email us. So the email is out in the public so I can share it. info@garibaldiarts.com, or you can visit my website, garibaldiarts.com/gallery. You'll get the contact info there.
What's your website?
So everyone's asking, what's the website? garibaldiarts.com.
And is that all you can
Yeah, so if you look up Garibaldi Arts on everything, that's all you need to know. You'll find it all. again, thank you all for tuning in today. I appreciate it. I know you could all be doing so many other things with your time today, so I appreciate it. So someone asked, who's the artist that inspired my art? I would say particularly this performance style. I'm taking my time, but this performance style was inspired by an artist. His name is Denny Dent. So he started in the early 80s and popularized this style. And if you ever get a chance, go check out Denny Dent. Just look him up on Google. So I've been doing this for about 17 years professionally. Of course, yes. Thank you guys for the questions. I will do my best to answer them and paint at the same time and not completely mess this up. So if I don't get to your question, I'll try my best to. So someone asked, did I do this as a kid? I was always creative as a kid. I was always drawing, creating, whether it was Legos, Hot Wheel cars, or actually just drawing. I've always been a creator. So this paint is an interior latex paint. It's an interior house paint. That's pretty much the best way to describe it. I'm just taking my time today. This is, a very important image that I want us to feel. So I'm establishing really also the silhouettes. I feel like sometimes silhouettes can speak more than the images and the lines. So someone just asked, what kind of music inspires me to create my best work? I really truly love all music. I would say my first love of music when I really started feeling connected to it was definitely hip hop. I would say that, I'm really into, I do love jazz. I love, when I first started painting, I actually started painting at, local jazz clubs and nightclubs. And jazz is just like, I could sit and listen to jazz all day. So someone asked, was I self-taught? Yes and no. I gotta give credit to my art teachers growing up, but for the most part, this style of painting, I was definitely self-taught. My first experience painting though was with aerosol. It was graffiti. So that was obviously self-taught, but I learned a lot of fundamentals while I was doing graffiti, believe it or not.
What age were you club?
So someone asked what age was I when I was doing club paintings. Well, you have to be 21 to get in a club, so there's a start for you.
Being an artist myself, what do you recommend for young artists?
So someone just asked, being a young artist themselves, what do you recommend for young artists? And I would say the first thing that you could start working on is your skill set, your techniques. And I say that, do it early, because when you get busy, you won't have as much time. And you have to be prepared and ready for that. I'm always working on new techniques still, but I wish I had more time. And so there's a beautiful place where most young artists are at right now, and it's because you have time. And so use it. I would say the other thing is, if you're a young artist, really just understand too, when you want to be a professional, I've talked about this before, but there's definitely a trade-off. You know, you have to be aware that being a professional artist doesn't mean you just sit around and just create all day, that there's a lot of other obligations and sacrifices that you have to make for that to come to life. So keep that in mind as you trade off to become a professional artist. Again, I'm just taking my time with today's painting. Thank you all for joining.
Why did you start this combination of art with graffiti and...
So someone asked, why did I start this combination of art? You know, when I think about why I enjoy this right now, why I enjoy going live, sharing this, or whether I'm on stage, is I found that I love to make this art process engaging or entertaining. And so I think first things first is, this is really like, my heart is in just sharing art and sharing like this, like we're talking right now. I'm gonna actually get a thinner brush to do this. But again, this is also a collision of many passions. So I grew up, you know, drawing, playing music. I got into dance in high school, and this type of style of painting is a collision of all of that. So now that I've established some like really broad definitions, I'm sure you guys can see what's coming to life. I'm gonna go in with a little bit more detail. There's one of my favorite techniques that I use is something called controlled scribbling. It's literally that. It literally is, you know, having control over your tool, whatever you're using, but still being free. And that's the most important part with that style. And also, I also love to just draw more freely. So nothing really is perfect, but I do want it to feel like the subject. I want it to feel like it's that particular person or thing, whatever that is.
I want to know what's your most expensive painting you've ever done?
So someone asked, what is the most expensive painting I've ever done? I had a painting one time sell for $50,000 for a charity before it was dry on stage. That image was of Jesus Christ. It was in Fort Wayne, Indiana, out of all places. Isn't that crazy? Shout out to Brad Miller, formerly of the Sacramento Kings, brought us out there. But you know, we've had other paintings go for everything else leading up to that number as well. But
Favorite color and why?
so someone asked, what's my favorite color and why? I mean, definitely black, for sure. If you look at my closet, it's very evident. So I'm gonna come back with a black spray can. Actually, I'm gonna change the tip on this. These spray cans end up drying up quite a bit in here. There we go.
How do you feel when you're painting and you paint something has to inspire you, or is it something that's
So someone asked, how do I get when I paint? Is that the question? How do I feel? You know,
do you do something that inspires you to paint, or
I always wait for inspiration. So there's a lot of times, even this image, I didn't really develop it until today because I'm inspired by the world, things around me, what's going on, how are we all feeling? And so I kind of just take that into account and then just try to find an image that really does inspire me, that has to do with that subject. So right now, I'm actually trying to create depth with the spray can to show objects that may be in front of each other by just adding a little shadow to subjects in the background and establishing other things in the foreground right now. I think I'm doing my most complicated painting right now. No, really, I think most paintings that involve, that involve a lot of detail, because my style is so fluid and loose. Someone said, am I painting my house? Definitely not. I am painting in my studio.
How long does it normally take you to finish a painting?
So on average, I would say if I take my time on a painting, 30 minutes, but I would say I've done them as fast as on America's Got Talent. Those were done in 90 seconds, in a minute and a half. But I would say on average, I finish most paintings in 7 minutes. This one, again, a lot of detail, so I'm taking my time. So someone just asked, and I'm sorry for that you asked that, but who's that girl reading my comments? This is my girlfriend, Chadi. Can you guys actually show Chadi some love? I could not do this without her. She's carrying the camera. She's got the devices to go live on all these platforms, so I love you. Thank you, Chadi. I could not do this without you. Yeah. Who's the New Yorican in the background? To establish some reference, she's Puerto Rican from New York and Miami, so I get a lot of spice from her. All good though. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just using the edge of the spray can so that I can, again, I'm trying to establish depth right now. So establishing things in the foreground, objects in the background, and also I want these to pop off just a little bit off the canvas. So I'm going to add some more lines. We'll show you all these details later on. I do wish I had a thinner tip, so most of the time I'm using.
What's the longest painting you've ever done?
It's the longest. I think early on when I used to create, what's that? Yeah, I would say murals, they take a lot longer. They're outside. I don't have the canvas in front of me like this, so I'm going up and down a lift. I mean, I've spent weeks on a painting before, but early on, when I first started painting, I used to do a lot more fine art. That's also where why I'm able to paint so fast, because my background is really in painting fine art and detailed paintings. But I would say this, so this style of painting, let me be very clear about this. This style of painting is not about being fast. It's about going with the flow. So if I were to take my time, I would be forcing myself to do it. I'm flowing with how I want this to look and feel, and so that's really the foundation of this type of style. All right, I think I'm gonna, so this is just a black canvas. Someone asked what type of canvas. Just a black canvas. Yeah, so by the way, I'm sorry I went live a little late today. I'm a single father. I have my girlfriend and her help, but spending time with family today. And that's most of the time why I go on later, is because we've got a lot of stuff going on, just during the day, family stuff that we got to take care of. So that's why it is, what time is it here? It is 8 o'clock, like 8 p.m. here in Sacramento, California, which they just established a curfew. So we're gonna make sure we get home safely. All right, part one of this is done. Let's see.
When did you know you wanted to paint?
So someone asked, when did I know I wanted to paint? When I was, I don't know, maybe 20 years old. I mean, I've always wanted to paint my whole life. I've always wanted to create. What's that sound? Yeah. I've always wanted to paint, but It wasn't until I was 20 until I actually started teaching myself how to paint, how to do this. And then I just never looked back. Sorry, I'm not gonna lie, we're a little on edge because in Sacramento there's been a lot of rioting, looting. The protests we love and support, peaceful. All the other stuff has been pretty scary for our family and our friends and other, people that we know here in Sacramento, they're business owners. And so, I don't know, I am always a little on edge while we're out this late. So I may, hey, I'm keeping it very real with you guys. I'm very, very real. This is, that's also why I wanted to do this painting, because we have to understand how real these situations are that not only we're dealing with, but also, blacks in America have a different experience than most of us do, and so that are not black. And I want to shine a light on that. So I am still taking my time with this image. You'll see it is coming to life. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you have questions, leave them below. And again, also, I will bring you closer as well. I'll bring you closer to show you the details of this. You good? Cool. Actually, can we do a test real quick? Those of you that are on Instagram or TikTok, can you do me a huge favor? Go to the link in my bio, hit the link that says live stream, and let me know if it works.
How many paintings a week do you do?
So someone asked, how many paintings a week do I do? At least, now it could be anywhere from, it could be anywhere from 3 to 6 paintings a week on average. I also paint very fast. Again, I paint very fluid. My style is very fluid.
What was your first painting of?
My first painting, so actually I did this, I used to do live painting at this place called the Fox and Goose in Sacramento. And the first painting that I did was this piano player. And a gentleman by the name of Anand, who's a DJ here in Sacramento, owns it. And I think I sold it to him for like a very, very small amount of money. But at the time, it was like the biggest support that I could ever ask for. All right, this is about to get real, guys. We'll show you these details later on. Let me know your thoughts so far, what you think. It may not be what you think it is. So,
What was your most famous painting?
so someone asked, what was my most famous painting? What's that, baby? My daughter's here. Baby, just go. You can go to the restroom. It's okay. This is live. I think I just scared her. I'm sorry, what was the question again? Okay. We'll get back to that question in just a bit. Again, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight.
Okay. So what was your most famous painting?
Oh, so what was my most famous painting? I feel like my Einstein painting has been the most popular one. It's, we have a lot of posters out there for it, and it's kind of become a universal type of image. I'm gonna mix some colors on the wall.
Only we have the dogs here.
Oh my God. I don't know, my kids walk in, the dogs. One day the dogs will be here for a live session. We're gonna wait till quarantine's over to like actually bring them. I realize when I paint slower, I use one hand typically. There's something about painting fast and being fluid that doesn't force me to use my other hand, but it just feels more natural. Thank you, thank you. So those of you out there, you know, you may be having some guesses about what it is, what you think it is, what you think it is.
We got another person saying,
Just
what
wait.
do you feel when you're painting?
So what do I feel? You know, this is very much a spiritual flow experience. So the images that I paint, I feel like I've already seen them. I've already gone through this process, and I think that's why it feels so easy to talk to you. So what I feel is I'm channeling something that's already happened. It's like a live deja vu. All right, yeah. Ask those questions. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think?
I know every artwork has a meaning, especially to its creator. Can you tell us the meaning, or at least what you're portraying in your artwork?
Yeah, so are you talking about this artwork right now? Okay, so I'm gonna say, I don't wanna give it away too much because I'm not done yet, but I would say the inspiration for this is that where do we start? We listen. That is the inspiration behind this. This will unveil more as it comes to life. And then the link is working. So if you're watching this on TikTok or Instagram, there's a link in my bio that says live stream. Hit that. Much different experience. Abe, what do you think? Is it a better experience? All right, let's establish this figure. So again, silhouettes are powerful. I love drawing in silhouettes. Also using the negative space leaves some to the imagination, others, it just kind of tells a story for you. So someone has to use other tools. It really just depends on what I'm creating. Right now it calls for paint, but you know, other paintings sometimes require some color pencils or something else. I know what you think. You think you know what this is. I want you guys to keep guessing what you think this is. Keep guessing. This is a very, very powerful image, and it may completely change in front of you at any given moment of how it felt from now to when this is completed. I'm going to add this line to the outside again. I want this figure to pop off the canvas. So someone asks, how do I create my painting when the canvas is upside down? The canvas is technically always right side up. It's just because it's blank. I'm painting an image that is upside down though. So that process is, when I paint upside down, it's really about creating shapes, and then I connect those shapes, and it just happens to feel like it's a figure. All right, we're gonna keep moving forward on this image. I'm gonna leave this right now, Howard. And I want you to let that sink in. So people want to know, where does painting go? I never start an image thinking like, okay, this is going to be a print or this is going to go somewhere, unless it's commissioned and someone actually paid for it, which they haven't, which is fine, because I create regardless. All these paintings I do for you, I do them because I love to, and I love to create and share it with you. But unless it's for someone, I don't have any plans. But depending on your response to it, it may inspire me to do something more with it. We'll see. Taking my time today, a very important, powerful image, really representing the time that we're in right now, this moment. This is now. This is also, I would add, it is now, but it is also something that has been there this whole time. And that's why I'm painting this image in this particular order. And I want certain types of imagery to just sit with you and think about this. So this is what I'm doing now. This is kind of educational, but I am going to be doing an official creative camp, our virtual camp this summer in about a month or so through my nonprofit Creator X. Definitely stay tuned for that. If you're on my TikTok account, follow me on my Instagram because I'll probably be posting more about it there. Yeah, I love TikTok, but we can't really like check in as much with you guys. I'm just posting content for you, but I would love to connect more. So if you're on TikTok, go follow my Instagram. We can just talk more rather than just entertaining you.
Crystal wants to know, do you ever get impatient for your finale?
Oh, all the time. So someone said, do I ever get impatient for my finale? Constantly. Again, I shared this earlier. I feel like I already saw this. I feel like I've been standing in front of this painting about a week ago, and now it's finally time for you to be let in on it and to feel what I've felt, to feel what other people have felt. So I'm taking my time with this. We're gonna go over here. We're gonna darken. So someone asked, have I ever messed up a drawing I made? Hoping I don't do it now, but I mess up all the time, guys. Always mess up. Maybe I just hide it better. Yeah, there's some times where after we do these lives where I may touch it up a little bit because this is really happening in the moment. I've never painted this before. I really don't know what's gonna happen. So there are times where I go and touch it up just a little bit, but I would say for the most part, sorry guys, I'm like stepping on brushes that I'm trying to pick up right now. For the most part, I keep it mostly how it is.
Did you practice this beforehand or just going blind out with idea?
So this is, you could say I'm going in blind. I do have my preparation studying that I do of images before I paint them, but for the most part, I've never painted this before at all. So ever, nothing like this. This is just, this is why I'm taking my time because I don't want to mess it up. That's why.
Not even like that. Mask.
Yeah. Charlie's like, oh, it's his first time. Look at how it looks. Ooh. All right. Watch this. Okay, those of you that are watching this, this technique that I use, I don't know what to call it yet, but what I do is I start making a motion, I press down, I apply pressure, and I lift off. And then I press down and lift off, and I do that back and forth to create texture on the surface as I'm painting at a faster pace. So I gotta think of a name for that, but when I'm in motion like this, I'm just pressing down, applying pressure, press and go. Let's call it a press and go technique. All right.
Who's your favorite artist to watch?
So someone asked, who's my favorite artist to watch? Man, I mean, you know, one of my favorite artists is a gentleman by the name of Leroy Neiman. He is, you know, passed away, but he was this pop artist, and his style was very much, he was very much like a colorist. It was impressionism and, you know, an abstract, all in the same time, but you could still very clearly see what it was. So Leroy Neiman, and if you look up videos, you know, maybe you'll understand why I love it so much. The style is, his colors are inspiring.
Somebody said you can call it the Garibaldi brush.
Oh, the Garibaldi brush flow. Let's do that. That sounds official. Let me ask you this, if you're still watching, if anyone's out there, besides my mom, would you guys want to watch an actual course by me? I know I share a lot here, but a step-by-step course where I actually teach you techniques, whether it's how to paint or whether it's you know, other things like how to market your art. Can you guys let me know in the comments? Is that something that you'd want to see? In the meantime, while you're doing that,
Lots of hearts, lots of yes. Like,
all right, good to know. So lots of hearts.
Yes, yes, yes. Like
All right.
tons of, and TikTok, it's crazy.
All right, so when I come out with
You got it in different languages too.
a course, I want to see you guys show out. Let me get another brush. Excuse me.
So it's like, yay, I just asked you to be a art teacher.
Yeah, your wish is my command. Actually, my wish is I don't know. You know what I mean. You get it. All right, texture is so important with this style because again, we're leaving behind the shadows, which plays a part in the texture. So someone just asked, how do I get people to notice me as an artist? Consistency. So consistently putting out work that feels similar, consistently telling my story, consistently showing up at events where people are going to them, and just consistent in every part of growing my career constantly. And even when I was discouraged, because I was many times still get discouraged, consistently pushing through as well. Actually, I need to change brushes because I'm not feeling this. So things like that happen where I start something and I'm not feeling it. But I'm really, ooh, that's good to know. Well, you know, the cool thing about art is you don't need to go to a building to learn how to do it. And maybe we do something that's more virtual, that gives everyone access from around the world all at the same time. But you let me know in the comments, what do you think? All right, I feel like it's on the cusp of being done. You can kind of see what it is. Let me add some more highlights to the figures on the right before we really make this clear what it is. Thank you all for joining me for this Art Life Live. My heart, probably like yours, has been like just heavy. My heart's been heavy lately. In regards to the world, my city, Sacramento, my family, making sure my family is safe, and also, most importantly, you know, other African American, you know, Black Americans that have a different American experience, that I think this is our time, this is our chance to listen. They've been telling us before, if you're not listening now, you're going to hear soon. So just keep that in mind. This is our chance to listen, world. So the painting's not done yet, but the first thing I want you to take from this is your initial thought of these figures over here and these two over here in the position that they're in. Because before I transform this, it's very important that you get comfortable or you understand the feeling that you have right now about who's being protected, about who's listening. That's very important right now. Because it is going to transform very soon. And it doesn't take much for it to transform.
So I'm me over here sitting with my stick figure.
Oh man, if you draw stick figures, you're drawing, and that's all that matters to me. All right, I think it's time to start establishing and start transforming this. First thing I want you to feel is, how do you feel when you see two young Black Americans facing off with authority or police or whatever you want to categorize them as? Because this may shift as I add the last few touches to this. You can come closer for this. A legitimate question. Now, let's establish the next part of what's going to transform this, because that's a legitimate question, but let's establish how they're asking. What's in his hands could be two very different things. It's going to start as what you think the first one is, but let's let that take place and just follow me on this journey right now. If you're watching this, just stay on your phone, stay on your device. Don't go away, because this is going to transform before your eyes. They're asked a valid question. Are we next? I'm going to let that sit while I get paint. Just think about this. There are two ways to ask this. Like this, with force, or they can ask this with their voice, with their heart, with a peaceful protest. This is what I'm asking you to listen to, is listen and really take in why. Why are they asking this? Why are they asking for just simply to be safe? Because of the color of their skin, and they have a different American experience than all of us and most of us. They're just asking, we're asking you to listen. And that's where we can start. This is maybe part one of a three-part series. But you saw how that transformed. The question, are we next? It appeared to be a firearm in his hands, but that's not how we're gonna ask. That's not how we're getting anything done. Transformed it into a bullhorn. Ask. Our voice must be heard with that microphone. All right, let's throw some paint. Let's finish this off, and let's end this in a very, very positive way. And so, as I'm finishing this up, the best thing, if you're asking yourself, what can I do? How can I help? And say you don't want to use your platform, say you don't want to post anything, listen. That's the best thing you can do right now. All right. We are almost done here. Bear with me as I add some last details. Thank you all for coming on this journey with us. I know we're losing our signal because we are wireless, which is how we bring this to you.
It's the Garibaldi brush flick, sprinkle, and splash.
Okay, that's the Garibaldi brush flick, sprinkle, and splash. I like that. I'm adding this color because this color pops. It screams. Like you can't ignore it. And I want them to be outlined in this color so that their voice is heard. You cannot ignore it. And what I hope that color does, I hope that it connects just like this. I hope that it gets to their hearts. There are humans behind these badges. We respect them, but we're asking to listen, to respect every Black American in this country. That's all we're asking. We know there's hearts behind those badges. We're just asking that you listen and use them. You know what? I'm gonna put that heart on their voice, the heart behind the badge, and we're gonna end this with a handprint. All right, thank you all so much for watching this Art Life Live. Take one last look before we sign off. Actually, I just realized I threw paint on a part. I'm gonna fix it real quick, but I want you guys to come in closer right now. Take one last look before we sign off. I didn't like that I threw all the paint over here, but there we go. Take one last look. Thank you guys so much for watching this Art Life Live. I didn't go live on Monday because there were much more important things going on in the world around all of us. But I was, like whether it's something positive or whether it's tragic, I'm still inspired, and I still want to use my art as a platform, as I always have, for all of us. So hopefully we can see and hear this with a new perspective. We can go back over here. Come on over here. Whew. Yes, all right, we fixed those audio, actually the video issues. Maybe some of you saw this, it kind of cut in and out because we are wireless. That's how we bring this to you through our cameras. And there it goes again. All right, it's searching. And we're back. Okay, before we sign off, I just want to do some shout outs. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to stand aside so you can see this image. Actually, you're good right there. That's good right there. I just want to thank you all for tuning in today. I know there's, again, so much going on in the world. And this image was really inspired by what we need to do right now. There's a step one. It's very easy. It's to listen. Oh, we're losing the signal. There we go, we're back. It's to listen. So start there. If you don't know what to say, repost. There's so many inspiring voices out there in the world that you can share how they're feeling. what they feel like needs to change, and let's start with listening. So before we sign off, let's do some shout outs. So yes, Robert, we can't control the video cutting in and out. It just happens. This is technology. So let's do some shout outs. Let me know where you're tuning in from before we turn this off, before we log out. Kim, yes. So Kim on Periscope said, this is a beautiful way to express your feelings. Black lives do matter. Yes, I agree with you. Black lives do matter. Adriana, yes, I'm glad you can still hear me, even though the video may cut in and out. Again, we can't control it, but thank you for sticking in with us.
We got
Miami, Montreal, thank you for joining us. Syracuse, thank you for joining. Carmichael, thank you. And where else are you guys tuning in from? Let me know. Virginia, Oklahoma, welcome. Brazil, thank you for watching. St. Louis, Missouri. I see Ozark, Missouri, thank you. Sacramento, Heather in Sacramento. Costa Rica, thank you. California, DC. Philadelphia. Texas. Florida. I see Mexico, Connecticut. So, all right, we're gonna sign off, but please remember these things. If you wanna see the longer videos of these, I post them on my Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. It's Garibaldi Arts on everything. I wanna thank everyone who tuned in to watch on Twitch, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Periscope, on Instagram, on TikTok, from all over the world. Thank you. I'm gonna wait for this. The video keeps cutting in and out, but I wanna make sure I leave you with this. Before I sign off, my name is David Garibaldi. This is Art Life Live, and Black Lives Matter. Thank you.